Welcome to another episode on Go Figure Customs YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do a review of a line that's a particular favorite of mine. It's definitely not for everyone because it is an expensive line, unfortunately. And that is the War of Order in Pocket. War of Order is kind of loosely based on some art and other figures called Neo Tokyo. I think it might even be Neo Japan, which is kind of a hybrid cyborg, so human and machine, futuristic dystopian, hard science fiction, military science fiction toy line. Mostly they're 1/6 scale, so 12-inch figures. So there are some of these figures are available in that scale, which I do not traditionally collect. I do have some 1/6 scale Navy SEAL figures, which probably won't come as a big surprise to anyone that's familiar with my work or knows me personally. I'm really a big fan of the dystopian, futuristic, hybrid stuff, the cyborg stuff. It has a particular. I don't know that I can put my finger on it. It's just something that I really, really like. I found some of this art. Again, I think it's Neo Tokyo. I'd have to double check it, but they've made some incredible. And I don't know the artist either, unfortunately, but he's done some incredible artwork that's very military science fiction, and I love those kind of books, and I love that kind of art. And I actually made some action figures, custom action figures, my own creations based off of that kind of stuff, where they're hybrids like that. Kind of, if you've watched the, is it Netflix that has Altered Carbon TV series? That's actually a series of books. That's the military sci-fi, and I love those books. So some of that's based off of that. But I've made four custom figures in that genre recently. Well, not recently, actually. It's been a couple years since I've done those figures. But finally, somebody has made figures in the kind of vein that I really like, and it's been really a nice time for 1/18 scale figures. It doesn't seem like it has, because G.I. Joe has kind of fallen by the wayside, and Marvel Universe is not coming out in 1/18 scale anymore, and Star Wars really seems to be taking a downturn on the 4-inch figures as well. So whereas you've seen a lot of decrease in maybe the more popular, more readily available lines, some of the more esoteric lines are enjoying that spotlight now, because there's nothing else out there, and one of those certainly is the Joy Toy figures that I've been reviewing. But the other line is the War and Order in Pocket. And in Pocket, like I said, refers to the 1/18 scale. This is the Secret Trooper, and it is based off, it is a repaint of, let's see, the original Secret Trooper, which I have here. Actually, the color scheme almost looks identical from the waist up, but it is a little different. That first one came out last year, I think. I'd seen these figures wanting to be released, the pre-production stuff, for maybe a couple years now, but I think they finally came out this last year, maybe even 2018. I'm not positive on that. So let's take a look at it here. It comes in a nice blister. I wish I could get these blisters just by themselves. Let me find my X-Acto knife, because you can see there's the lip there, and it's held in with a couple pieces of tape, per usual for anything coming out of Hong Kong or China. But I like the blister, because the card back just slides right out, which is fantastic. Oop, we just lost accessories there, so let's pick those up real quick. There's his gun. So I would love to have a whole bunch of these for customs. It's a shame I can't get these in bulk by themselves. So the packaging is fantastic because I've actually kept the other ones from this this line, and I may end up using them for cards for my own customs, like the 118, the figures that I have made in this genre. I may end up putting them on those blisters. So on the card, it's made by Devil's Toy, War of Order in pocket, full 1/18 scale action figures. It's called the Secret Trooper. It's got a little file card on the back. The name, it says name, Secret Trooper, nickname CCTV, kind of a lame nickname. Birthplace, Providence Robot Factory. And I think there is some backstory here to this. It's kind of like Acid Rain, which is another line of figures that I've collected up until recently. I've been getting all of the figures that have been coming out. Now I'm kind of scaling that back to just the figures that I want. So there's a very detailed, in-depth backstory to the Acid Rain figures, and I think there is one to this. It's just not as detailed. They have a website, they have a blog. It's not been updated for a long time, but there is some backstory to it, which is kind of neat. It also says Secret Trooper 3rd Generation Batter Droids, or whatever Batter Droid is, developed by Providence, which provides multiple advanced technology patents, 24 hours non-stop combat capability, with many more specialized types to fit with various battle environments. And then it has a quote that says, "Waiting for your command, Master." And then underneath it, it's got the Facebook address, the Twitter address, the Instagram, and then there is something else under that. Looks like their regular website address. Collectible toy, adult collectible, not a toy, recommended for ages 15 and up. And then the usual warning hazards about being a choking hazard. It's a nice cardstock too. So the packaging is fantastic because as a customizer, I can reuse the bubbles for my own customs, and then it's got a little file card, which is kind of reminiscent of G.I. Joe. So let's take a look at the figure. Playability on these is great straight out of the package. The joints on my first, all right, so this is a little stiff right here. I am probably going to heat that up. Other joints seem pretty loose. The first wave of figures of these, I had seen people complaining of broken joints, but I didn't have any problem with mine. I heated mine original, the first wave up. This is the third wave of figures that has come out. The first wave being this figure, the Secret Trooper, and I think this is called the Heavy Trooper. I don't remember right off the top of my head. So here are the first two figures that came out. And then the third wave was the Medical Trooper, the Heavy Trooper, and then I think this was called the Secret Master, if I'm not mistaken. And they all come with a decent set of 1/18 scale weapons, which are very, very highly detailed and look really nice. In fact, this one comes apart, so you can use it as two different weapons if you want to, or disassemble it, or like you use cleaning it or something like that, which I think is pretty cool in and of itself. So yeah, the arms are going to need to be softened up on that. I am a little wary of any joints that don't rotate freely when I take it out of the package. If it even sticks a little bit, I'm going to heat it up just to be on the safe side. So the playability of these things, I think, is fantastic. There's nothing. The only limit on this, again, is your imagination. The vests, I haven't glued these vests closed like I normally do with my Joy Toy figures. I probably will end up doing that because the peg is soft like the rest of the vest and won't stay pegged in there. one of the things that I'll actually probably do is cut that peg off or cut it down with an X-Acto and then pull it tight and then glue it shut. Because if the peg doesn't go in, then it doesn't seat right when you glue it closed, and then you've got kind of a lump there that you can kind of see it's not flat. So if I trim that down and then glue it closed, it'll sit closed. It'll set flush there. And it is only pegged on one side. And of course that body armor does come off. So I'm just going to lift it up. I'm not going to take it off because I don't want to I don't want to mess those joints up. It's just like a regular shirt underneath. There's really not any reason for it to come off unless you want to, play that. Unless you really like the removable gear or have need to take it on and off, which I don't, as I've mentioned before. Once the gear is on, I like to leave it on. Number one, so I don't lose it, and then number two, so it's not the gear isn't loose when I'm playing with it, because there is a peg hole, and the backpacks don't tend to stay on very well because it's a softer plastic. So with the vest not sitting very well on the figure, it tends to make the backpack fall off a lot easier on these. So that's the backpack that he comes with. Picture of that there. And then the weapons that he comes with, well, he actually comes with a lot of gear. Let's see what we got here. So he comes with, looks like a Mark 23 pistol with the laser sights and a suppressor added on. I found one of those floating around with some of my other gear, so at least I know where that came from. It came from these guys. A nice kind of futuristic assault rifle there, which is nice. Nothing's removable. Nothing's the clip doesn't come out. The magazine doesn't come out. And then two real cool ice axes, climbing axes. Well, I'd like to get these cast up for future use. And then he also comes with the same gun that the original Secret Trooper came with, the two-piece gun there that fits in together like that, doesn't it? No, it doesn't fit in there too well. It's a little tighter than the original. There we go. It does fit together though, which is pretty cool. So he comes with two rifles, technically three because that one breaks apart, two ice axes, a pistol, a backpack, body armor, and then since this is the Arctic variant, it comes with a couple of short skis. That was not a good picture of those. So it comes with a couple skis. So let's gear them all up here. You obviously can't hold all of his gear at the same time, which is kind of a bummer. I would have liked to have seen them give him a different backpack where his gear could have pegged in. I think that would be very useful. If you can't hold all of the gear, then he needs a way to be able to carry all of the gear. That's definitely one of the things that I try and do with my customs is if I give them more gear than they can hold at one time, that I have a way for them to carry it at least. All right, backpack. Because he doesn't have a holster for the pistol, and the ice axes don't like clip into the vest anywhere. So actually that actually just loosened up with the little careful manipulation. So there is him all kind of geared up there with the skis and the rifle. It's very well articulated. So he's got swivel and pivots in the wrists. He's got swivel and pivot in the elbow, and then a regular, kind of the regular joint in the lower upper arm, shoulder, and then the shoulder joint is actually a ball socket, which is kind of nice. The head is double ball jointed, so there's a ball joint in the head and a ball joint in the neck, and I think the bottom neck actually rotates as well. There's a mid-torso articulation. I don't remember if there's a waist articulation on these. I don't think there is. No, there's just an upper torso, a mid-torso. Ball joints in the upper legs and hips, and then there's a rotating joint, upper thigh, and then double jointed in the knee, and then kind of that nice rocker ankle in rocker ankle there, and then there is a swivel joint at the top of the boot. So I mean, these things are fantastically articulated. They are really nice. So the playability is fantastic on these things. I do tend to play with these guys a lot more than some of my other figures. I haven't had any problems with broken joints. I know some of the guys that have, like I said, bought the first wave of figures, had problems with the joints, but I was really careful with those when I got them, and I haven't had any problems with mine. The other thing that I was going to show was I got the exclusive, it's called War Wolf. So it's a cybernetic wolf. It's has a cybernetic front leg, and it's supposed to have like a cybernetic eye as well. This is based off of the 1/6 scale figures as well. There's a 1/6 scale version of this, and it looks fantastic. The wolf is not articulated in any way, shape, or form. It's all one solid piece of plastic. I actually started making a custom of that myself. I didn't finish it. I've got the parts around here somewhere. I think I was going to try and finish it off with one of the Marauder Task Force dogs. I may have to look at that again today. So packaging is fantastic. Playability is awesome. Customizing, man, yeah, you could do anything you wanted with these guys. I think the customizing potential is limited only by your imagination. But it's kind of like the Joy Toy figures. Do you really need to customize this? Because it is so specialized and so awesome that, you know, the paint job is fantastic. The articulation can't really be improved on as far as I'm concerned. Does it need to be customized? I don't think so. And I probably won't customize any of these guys. But you could get them for parts. I think these would be fantastic parts if you wanted to do some sort of variation on the G.I. Joe, the Cobra Bat. If you're doing your own kind of like military science fiction line, I think that would be, and wanted to repaint these guys in any way that you wanted to, I think that would be cool. Kind of what my plan for these guys, I'm going to use one of my G.I. Joe flags as a kind of a diorama, and I'm going to use my Joy Toy figures as it's going to be their base of operations, and I'm going to use these guys as kind of like G.I. Joe Cobra Bats. They're going to be cybernetic robots that are controlled by my military figures. So the customizing potential exists, but do you really need to? I don't know about that. And then the last point, of course, is the price. And that's where it's going to kill you. These guys are $40 a piece. Usually. There's two in this wave, and I don't have the other guy here right now because they used one picture for both figures, and I was looking at my pile of loot, and I'm like, why did I buy two of this guy at $40? Woof. So I canceled one, and then realized, oh wait, that was the other figure in this wave. So I ended up buying him again, and he just is sitting in my pile of loot at Big Bad Toy Store. And he is a cold weather version of this guy, I believe. So I will probably review him when I get him, but I'm not planning on shipping him anytime soon because I'm getting ready to go back out, getting ready to deploy to Equatorial Guinea in a week. So I don't even think they could get it to me before I left. So that might be something I'll review when I get home. But $40, whew. So is it worth it? That is going to depend on how much you're into this type of line. I won't say it's very genre specific, but it kind of is. You know, these guys aren't going to fit in with like superheroes, for example. So I mean, you've really got to kind of want those particular types of figures. I think it's really on the high side of worth it. It's worth it to me just because this is a particular favorite genre. So I've always wanted figures like this to the point where I've made customs so I could have figures like this. And now that they're being made, man, it's hard for me to justify $40 for one figure on this. And if it's hard for me to justify $40 on one figure, it's going to be hard for a lot more people. That's going to turn a lot of people off. Is the quality there for the $40? Yes, I think that it is. This guy comes with a ton of gear. They seem to have improved the joints so they don't seem as fragile as the ones in the first wave. And I didn't see anybody complaining about fragility on the second wave, although I don't know a lot of people that got the second wave to begin with. I think this one's sliding under the radar a lot, and I think it might just be due to the fact that it's kind of overshadowed. Number one, it's overshadowed by figure lines like Acid Rain and Joy Toy Armed Forces, because these are not getting produced in high numbers. The set with the wolf was an exclusive, overseas exclusive. I don't think you get the wolf in the United States if you ordered them from Big Bad Toy Store. I got mine from Locker Toys. Is how I had to get it. So I think it's number one, they're getting overshadowed by other lines, and then I think the other thing that's stopping a lot of people from getting this is the price. So is it worth it? It's worth it to me, but I can see it being not worth it to almost everybody else, unless this was a specific type of figure that you've been waiting for your entire life. Do I recommend them? Yeah, absolutely. I think they're fantastic figures. You know, if you wanted the parts for the customs, or you wanted just highly articulated military science fiction figures, this is definitely a line to not miss. But you got to be willing to drop the $40 on it. Speculation on whether the price is going to go up on these if you're going to leave them in the package. I've said it before that I'm never really been one to be very accurate about speculation on secondary market prices, but I think this is one that people are going to, since it's sliding under the radar, I think people are going to, a lot of people are going to miss it, and then they're going to see these figures a few years from now, and they're going to go, whoa, what is this? When did this happen? And then they're going to have to go on secondary market like eBay to try and get them, and they're going to be more expensive. So I think the potential exists for them to be worth more than they are now, but I don't buy toys for that reason at all. But if that's one of the, but I don't knock people that do it either. You know, it's the only time I have problems with that is like the scalpers who buy all the figures from retail and then sell them for more than they're worth on eBay. That's the only time that I really don't, that I actually detest figure speculation. So kind of summing up, the packaging's fantastic. These are highly playable figures. They seem very durable. I've had the other waves for a while now and have not had any problems with them. They seem to have improved the quality on broken joints. Um, Customizing potential is fantastic. Um, and but the price is definitely something that's going to stop a lot of people, because $40 for one 1/18 scale action figure is a lot. And I've mentioned before on why stuff like this is so expensive. This is an independent toy company that is just making small batches of these guys. I think the set with the wolf, I think they only made like 2,000 of those. It might have been more than that, but I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure they made a very, very low run of those. So that increases the price per figure when you have only a low number to begin with. They're going to be more expensive. Um, so I think they could be a little cheaper though, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm having a real hard time recommending them based on the price, because I know that's a detractor for a lot of people. A lot of people are balking at like the $80 or $90 for the Joy Toy figures. So for half of what a Joy Toy set costs, you can get one of these guys. Is it worth the $40? Yeah, I think it is. I think this is money well spent. But if you don't have $40 to drop on one figure, yeah, it's a lot to drop on one figure. But that's about all I got for this guy. I'll try and review the second figure from this wave when I get back from my next rotation. Until then, stay tuned for more videos, and like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Thank you for watching.